It sucks when you're the bottleneck of your own business, when your team isn't taking ownership and they're always defaulting to you as their savior and they're going slow and they're underperforming. This guy that I'm working with right now, that is exactly his case, which means that he's always doing everything. He's got his finger in every pie. He's always overworked. He's always overstretched. He knows he's the bottleneck. He said this was his team not being good enough. And it was a massive fear that he was going to have to get rid of team members, spend hours and hours training them, or maybe just put up with team members that don't deliver the product, the service, and ultimately his future that he really craves. And their incompetence, according to him, was just proof that he needed to do everything. So he was always overworked. He was always pushing, always feeling like he had so many opportunities, but unable to execute effectively. He was essentially stuck, and he wasn't progressing as quickly as he believed he should do. So we looked under the hood. We got chatting. We found a similar pattern to what we've seen before in this podcast. The whole business falls onto him. It's all on his shoulders. Thing is, he was reinforcing this behavior in his team. He was the culprit. He was the one that was actually manufacturing it. It was their inability to get shit done that he was reinforcing. He was making that happen. Because he was always wanting himself to be seen as important, which was weird, right? How did his self-image mean that they had to do all the work? Well, this self-image was this way of portraying himself. Is the way he wanted to be seen by the outside world as excellent, competent, in control, valuable, increasing in status. Like, I know I'm the best, and I need you to know that too. So he did everything. He put them in situations where they could not take ownership. He would make sure he was there. He would make sure he was on call. He'd never cut the umbilical cord and say, hey, you're up on your own. And when we looked even closer, we saw this throughout his life. And obviously not going to go into too much details here, but we saw it in an example in his training. He would avoid failure in the gym so that he wouldn't be perceived as struggling. He'd always just hold a little bit in reserve. So that means that he wasn't quite pushing his potential. He had more. How much more of him could have been seen, displayed, grown? In relationships too. Does he want his partner to be really equal to him and aspirational or driven, or does he want them to be subservient and meek and kind of beneath him? Well, we go out to protect our self-image, and this is exactly what this guy was doing. He was trying to reinforce this identity to himself to prove something, and therefore to the world. And initially, this is the trap. The trap is it really fucking works. It gets your business exactly where you want it to be. That superhero complex of I am going to do everything. I'm going to be the hero my business needs. I'm going to have my finger in every pie. I'm going to get to every meeting. I'm going to have my finger in all of the marketing that I need to. I'm going to have a feel of what's going on. That gets the business to a good level of success, that ownership. But then to grow, it's the very same thing that holds us back. This thing becomes our cap. What got us here will not get us there. And more than that, it actively prevents us from getting there. His need to be seen as important got his business to a very successful level. But to grow, what he needs to learn to do is be willing to find the value of seeing himself as unimportant, so he can empower his team, so he can get his team working without him, so he can scale, so he can get out of the way. So the business grows without him as a bottleneck. This hustling, I've said it before, hustling, doing everything, being urgent, being frantic, is just fragility in disguise. The process of helping him is actually very, very simple. Firstly, he just needs to know the pattern. This is the first thing we did. We made it clear to him so that he knew for him how this shows up. And it'll be different for you, but you need to understand exactly what that looks like. So we detailed it, we understood it, like we unpicked it, we gave him that clarity. Then I taught him techniques to observe it in detail, So because that awareness is what needs to be triggered in order to catch it in the moment. Otherwise, it just defaults and you're carried away by it and you have no power. And then what you do is you say, hey, these are the tactics that I need to capture myself, to allow myself to regain control. But that can only happen once you've detailed and understood it and then observed it in real life too. The principle I'd love you to take from this is we all have an identity. All of us. It's a persona. Carl Jung called it a persona, but like we all have an identity that we're trying to project to the world that serves us to a point, and then we need to outgrow it. It's like a snake shedding its skin, right? The skin initially kept it safe. It did its job. It protected the organs. It offered some camouflage from predators, and it also camouflaged so that prey wouldn't detect it. It did its job. But a snake gets to a point where it needs to outgrow its skin, and so do you. I'm guessing shedding your skin is pretty painful and uncomfortable if you're a snake. And this is the same thing for you too. Right now, you're probably at your capacity. The skin, the old skin is holding you in. You need to let go of that. You need to grow because that is the thing holding your business back. Maybe for you, it's that hustler, I can do everything. I need to do everything. I'm the only person who can do everything mentality. Maybe it's the identity of someone who's just, hey, I never get what I want. I'm always going to be unhappy. Maybe it's anxiety, depression. Or maybe it's someone who's, hey, this is really common in gym owners that I work with who are disproportionately a number of people I work with. Probably because you're so interested, if you're a gym owner, in self-improvement and growth. But that idea of I'm a coach, not a businessman. It gets you that pursuit of craftsmanship and excellence gets you to a certain level, but it stops you from growing therefore. There's something keeping you trapped, an identity that's keeping you whole. Your goal is to drop that identity and get rid of it. So this week, try writing down what that identity is. No more detail than that. No more growth needed. Just get absolutely clear on what that persona is that helped you get to here, but is now keeping you stuck. Write it down in detail and you'll get one step closer to who you're really meant to be.